Welcome to Rhinos and Aliens.
Welcome back, Rhinos and Aliens, to the 81st episode of your number one podcast in Western New York, the Rhinos and Aliens Show. As always, I'm your host, Xaynah, and to the left of me is...
Francis Mandrala, back on camera.
What? This is my first time having you on camera in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And it's my first time having you on camera, Dolo.
Yes, this is fact.
What's poppin', Franny boy?
What's up? Let's not forget, we do got a conscience here.
Oh.
Yes.
Hello?
It's okay, ignore me.
Someone there?
Just ignore me.
Yeah. Okay, good, because I was trying to do that anyway.
Fuck off.
Fuck you too. Anyways, what are we talking about today? How was your day?
Well, first, I just want to say, let's take a deep breath. When we get a chance, let's hug a friend.
Oh, no, a high five hug.
What's a fucking high five hug?
No. Keep your hands straight and hug.
Okay, that's just...
That's a hug. That's a high five hug. Isn't it, Monty? Fuck you. You a liar because you know we definitely used to high five hug with your fake ass.
I don't know
Anyway.
what the fuck that is.
He fake as hell. He fake as hell. Actually, can you cut that whole part with me talking to Monty because he doesn't exist to me today?
Wow.
Okay.
That is crazy.
Okay, well, let's take a deep breath. What are we doing again? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to let all my negative energy go.
Well, before anything, I want us to take a deep breath. Hug a friend when you can. And reach for the ceiling and just stretch those limbs.
All right, I'm not reaching right now. Because then if my shirt lifts up, I'm going to get a little breeze on my back. And then I'm going to have chills.
Like I'm saying, when we get the opportunity for the audience members who's listening.
Nobody's going to listen to us. Honestly.
Yo, conscience, just butt in when you want to, okay?
Bet.
Not like he cares anyway.
Eat a dick.
I already did.
Take 2.
I could take another one.
Take 5.
Want to bet?
Okay.
I would pay to see that shit.
Well, she did take a foot long most recently.
You so lucky I can't throw nothing at you. And you shut the fuck up. And cut that shit off camera. And you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, for most women, they think I might be exaggerating. You know, like, oh, a foot long, he's like probably just saying 8-9 inches. Okay, if that makes you sleep at night.
Shut up. Shut up. We're not talking about dick right now. That whole shit gotta go.
Okay, so where do you want to start? Because you read through some of the stuff. Where do you want to... I think we should knock out the February 2nd thing. It was interesting to me. About it being a palindrome.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so do we all know what a palindrome is?
Yeah, well, I do.
Okay. Conscious, do you?
Explain.
I'm just laughing at how you said that, bro. I'm coming off of illness. Okay, so it's basically any word, phrase, or sequence of numbers that reads the exact same forwards as well as backwards.
Okay.
Right? And February 2nd, 2020 was a palindrome in all date formats. That means if you put the month first or the day first. You know how some... Okay, yes. It was the first one in 909 years since November 11th, 1111.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's going to be the last one for another 101 years until December 12th, 2121. Right? Because okay. And February 2nd was also a palindrome day for the year. It's the 33rd day. And for the number of days left in the year, there's 333.
Oh, that was a powerful day, huh?
Yeah.
February 2nd.
Insignificant in the scheme of things, but when it comes to that type of day, Just one of those random number days.
So this is something that would have been so cool to Genevieve, the lady at the shop,
Yes.
and Dee Dee, because they love numbers. Like, oh my God, it's 111. Oh my God, it's my birthday. It's 1020. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you
people
know,
love stuff. They love sequential.
but you know, like how
numbers.
some people cheat. Like you could technically do like remove the zero, and it's like just 1 1. But if you're being technical, it's not an actual. This is an actual down to the freaking.
Yeah, they would love that shit.
Yeah.
They would absolutely love that shit. They would probably, I knew it was a powerful day.
Oh, because like, today feels powerful for whatever
Yeah.
reason, and then somebody lets them know, oh, yesterday was blah blah blah, and it's like, I knew it.
I knew it. Yep, that's gonna be Jenny. She's gonna be like, yo, what? I did my best color that day.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell. I don't even remember the second. I don't remember what I was doing. The second was on Sunday.
It was the same day as the Super Bowl.
What was I doing?
I don't know. I was fucking working. No, I was throwing up. I took the day off.
Ugh. I think I was in my bed the whole day. I probably was. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was in bed.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dracula.
Okay, you want to get to that?
Wallachia? What is it called? Is that one?
You forgot?
Wallachia.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
You think I could?
Yeah, do your thing. Rock out with your cock out.
Okay, so even though Dracula is a fictional character, Stoker named his infamous character after a real person who happened to have a real taste for blood. A 15th century Roman prince, Vlad Tepes, or known as Vlad III, Prince of, what was it?
Wallachia.
Wallachia.
And it's Vlad. Stop calling him Vlad.
Tomato.
To black people is Vlad. Okay, nobody's gonna know what you're talking about Vlad. He's talking about Vladimir. Not literally Vladimir, but Vlad. Like, as in Vladimir. Okay, keep going.
Or as he is better known, Vlad the Impaler. So in 1431, King of Hungary, who would later become the Holy Roman Empire, inducted the elder Vlad into a knightly order, the Order of the Dragons. This designation earned Vlad II a new surname, Dracul. The name came from an old Roman word for dragon, Drac. His son, Vlad III, would later be known as the son of Dracul, which is where Dracula comes from. There's a different word I cannot pronounce, but in the English version of that is Dracula. It's basically whenever you have a son, that extra U comes in.
I peep.
Yep. So his son, Vlad III, would later be known as son of Dracul. Okay, so in modern Roman, the word Drac refers to the devil. The Order of the Dragon was devoted to a singular task to defeat the Turkish or the Ottoman Empire. So Christian Europe and the Muslim lands of the Ottoman Empire, which is the home principle of Wallachia, was frequently the scene of bloody battles as
Wallachia.
Wallachia was frequently the scene of bloody battles as the Ottoman forces pushed westward into Europe, and the Christian forces
Repulsed.
the invaders. Some of these legends were also collected and published in a book, The Tale of Dracula. In 1490, a monk who presented Vlad III as a fierce but just ruler. The reason why he's a positive character in Romania but negative everywhere else is because he's reputed to have been a just, though very harsh ruler. My point is, depending on the Dracula stories, you have a positive or negative take on him. And the reason why it's positive or negative is depending which side you are on. Like if you are being killed by Dracula, he is this sinful devil. Yet if he spares your life or he brings you on board, he is this almost like not holy, but
I understand his role. He's a dominant but respected figure.
yes.
Have you seen Dracula Untold?
Yeah.
Just that's literally what it sounds like. And that movie was based off of that?
No, exactly. Like, obviously, you saw the film. It was very sci-fi at the end, where his
Yeah,
power.
definitely at the end, but just the point of
No, but the story
the
is spot
storyline, yeah,
on.
like who he is and who he was as a ruler and what he felt like he had to do. So if you've seen Dracula Untold, then you know, like, in the movie, there's a ruler. A ruler. What the fuck? A ruler, Dracula, and then some shit happens with his kingdom and his family. And so he has no choice but to go into these mountains and find this fucking creepy ass.
But that film is
Count
basically
Dracula. Yeah.
the Dracula version of Vlad, to where he was in the situation where one side he had the Christians down his back and the other side
He had the
Ottoman.
yeah. But yeah, that shit was deep. That shit was tough. And it did show that that's like he did that just for his kingdom and shit like that. Like he didn't try and turn people or kill people that, you know, like were in his village or whatever the case may be. It was more so the other people or enemies.
Yeah, his enemies.
Dracula's a good guy. And he's sexy too. And Dracula come cold and everything. Man, what?
Yes.
Van Helsing? Who baby?
You like that Dracula?
Van Helsing has to be my. That was my favorite movie as a kid. It has to be my favorite Dracula character.
The vampire wives were bad as fucking.
Bad as hell.
They had the brunette,
Yes.
the redhead,
and the blonde. Listen, and then they had the black haired fire ass. You know,
Dracula?
kicking ass. His little no.
Oh, Kate Blunt. Kate Beckinsale
Yes.
as the badass hunter.
Right.
That might be top tier for her. Badass woman in terms of attractiveness. Like for the lead, and then you have 3 side chicks. Think about it.
Yeah.
The cold blonde dies within like the first 15 minutes.
But she was annoying.
No, I think you're thinking of the redhead who was annoying. The redhead is.
Oh, the redhead was the annoying one. Yeah.
But she was the most attractive, unbiasedly speaking.
I don't know because I don't remember their faces in detail. Thinking about it right now, like I have to be watching the movie to remember their actual faces because.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I used to have a big fantasy about vampires. I'm like, can vampires please be real?
Oh my God, Aaliyah and Queen of the Damned again.
Yes.
Fuck, she's so perfect. Like what? I love Dracula though. I really do. What other one?
So
other
what
movie
is it?
was
Is
there
it,
Dracula in?
is it the concept of Dracula, or is it the concept of
Even Blade. Like I just love
Blade was definitely the
vampire
shit.
men. Like,
But would you want to
vampires.
live in that world?
Hell yeah. I'm nocturnal.
I low key would want to live in that Blade
shit
world.
is just so like.
But what if you weren't Blade or one of those vampires?
Hell
if he
no.
was like human or some shit.
Yes, in that world.
I think I'd be excited to
would
watch
be-
the news.
You be scared as hell. Shut the fuck up.
I'd be excited as fuck. I'm
Hell
gonna stay away from all that shit.
Listen, I'm gonna be a hot commodity. They gonna want to taste me. They already want to. Imagine if they. Hell no.
That's a good point. Like, the vampires, they hear everything, and they're hearing, yo, there's this chick that makes every dude who never nutted before from head nut now. Imagine what her bite game would be like.
Well, they should ask her.
Right?
Fuck you up. You say the wildest shit on camera. Stop talking about my sex life on camera, please. I don't want to get my head shut up.
I'm just saying with this topic, head and sucking go toe to toe.
I'm literally crying. My eyes are watering. Please.
Okay, can we just get this out the way? Because we technically talked about this. I just want your opinion about this on record. How do you feel about fat shaming? Fat versus fit shaming. Because there is, at least on social media, there is a group of people who completely support, like they're never shame a fat person, but they have no problem shaming fat individuals who try to get in shape. And then there's a group of people who are the opposite, right? Like they're going to completely support people trying to get in shape, but the moment they get fat, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I like that one.
Okay, so the difference between those people are their idea of a healthy lifestyle. So I don't agree with body shaming, but if someone is like encouraging you to do what's best for your body, whether that's gaining or losing weight, then it shouldn't be a problem. I also feel that people are allowed to have their own opinions. So if they voice an opinion and they make sure that they state that it's their opinion about something, as far as your weight loss or your weight gain or just your size in general, then that's your opinion. So
Okay.
if you get offended by it, that's on you. But for example, who's the lady that said that shit about Lizzo?
Julian Michaels.
Julian Michaels. And
By the way, how she said it wasn't disrespectful.
it wasn't.
She was
what
talking
she said
about
was she feels like people should support Lizzo's music and not support her eating. Well, her her lifestyle, like her healthy or her unhealthy eating habits, or whatever the case may be. Like you shouldn't promote her size or look up to her for her size, but you should be focused on her music. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. Lizzo is a bigger woman, and there's nothing wrong with big women. But at the same time, you have to be healthy. And all she's saying is that you should be focused on your health, not, worried about her being her size. Like, don't worry about her size when it comes to her as an artist. Worry about her music. Focus on her style, everything else, but her size isn't something you should be looking up to because, honestly, she's overweight.
Yeah.
And how is that wrong to say? I feel like, how is that wrong to say? How is it wrong to tell the public or tell the world, hey, like, support Lizzo on her music, but don't, cheer her on for her weight? Like,
or don't want to be, like, when you try to be the next Lizzo, don't try to be the next Lizzo because of her weight.
Size.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one,
That's perfect.
It's
Perfect.
It's one thing to support her, her and her beauty. Okay, like, yeah, Lizzo looks great, blah, blah, blah.
No,
okay,
she technically has nice
does.
skin color. She's at least, she's not ugly.
No, she's a beautiful woman.
I wouldn't go that far. But
I would say she's a beautiful woman. I would. But that doesn't mean that she's healthy.
No. And by the way, we also need to point out there are different body types, but there is a difference between a woman being curvy, who like naturally has hips, and some women get hips by being overweight. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we need to stop being afraid to state facts sometimes.
Yeah.
Talk your shit.
Ooh. I don't know how I overlooked that.
Which one?
Blood.
Why don't you go into that?
I don't want to.
Okay, so you want me to do it?
Of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know our blood has 3 waves of a life? Which is also why supposedly older individuals get blood transfers just to feel younger.
Wow.
Did you?
didn't. No. I never knew that.
Yep.
So I knew that older people got blood transfers and stuff like that, but I didn't know
No,
their reasoning.
No. I'm talking about unnecessary. Like they're getting blood infused into their body. They don't need blood. There's no blood shortage.
Yeah, I knew, but I never understood why. Not referring to like health wise, like going to the clinic and getting a blood transfusion.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't know people got blood transfers.
Yes, there at some point it got out that if you get blood from 20-year-olds, it makes you feel good. And people just started doing it. Now there's science backing up why. It's still not that specific, but there's some conclusions. Supposedly your blood has 3 stages. It's pre-30s. That's the first stage.
That's that spicy blood.
Then once you enter your 30s, specifically 34, which is where the physical peak begins to end. Then, sometime in your 60s, it changes a second time. And then, if you live long enough, it changes again in your 80s.
And that's it. That's how you know you're not supposed to live after 30. What's 30 years past 80? After 110, your ass need to be gone. That is your biological clock.
Okay, so what they believe, there's this beta specific protein which deals with aging.
Beta?
Yeah, the
Like
TG.
beta fish? Oh my God.
Yes, X.
Keep going.
Okay, so with this flood of new data about blood proteins, it's a daunting task to figure out whether one thing or another causes aging, slows it down, or is merely a result of the aging process. So they basically have all these variables, and they're trying to plug it into a proper equation. Mm-hmm. As an example, graying hair is a marker of aging.
Right.
But just because you dye your hair doesn't mean you're reversing the aging process. In terms of transfusion blood, just because you're putting new blood into your system
doesn't mean that you're going to live longer.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, then
But by the way, when I said they don't have a lot of research, like I legit meant like they just discovered there's 3 changes. Like technically there's 4 waves in the blood. There's 3 changes. But that's basically all they know. They still have all these variables, and they don't know what's the difference, blah, blah, blah. All they can tell is that getting new blood in your system is the equivalent of dyeing your hair. Yeah, it might change it for that moment, but your blood is going to reproduce.
So you know how when you age, you lose like pigment in your hair and stuff like that? Oh, to cause your gray hair, you lose pigment in your hair. Do you lose pigment in your skin too? Like, do you lose pigment all around, like overall? Because I've never actually thought about an old person and how they looked when they were younger, their complexion, and to see if not only but their skin lighten along with their hair or not. Like,
first off, I do not at all know the correct answer.
I want to know. My sole underlining question is just if they lose pigment just in their hair or in their whole body.
I know.
Like, not maybe you can tell if their skin brightens or maybe it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to know if they still would lose it a little bit, like even just the slightest.
I believe the answer is yes, but I would also say it's not to the same degree because you also have to remember your skin is living cells. Your hair is dead.
You're right.
I found that so interesting. You state it. X, stop being a fucking.
Asian women were forced to bind their feet, not only to have small feet, but with this binding, it's forced them to walk, which would flex their hip muscles in specific ways. The effect resulted in muscular vaginal muscles. What?
Pause.
Make sure to look it up if this is correct.
And I did.
Okay, so them binding their feet helps them contract their.
Well, first off, we all know that Asian culture is very famous for, specifically Chinese and Japanese. It's very famous that the women are small, tiny, the men are bigger, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things is feet. The smaller your feet, the better. So they would force their feet into shoes that would force their feet to stop growing. It constricted their toes, and that would put pressure on their feet to stop growing. That's why Asian women, on average, have much smaller feet.
Tiny feet.
Yeah. But at the same time, it was low-key also used for better vaginal muscles. And the science behind that is true.
Wrapping your feet tightens your coochie.
Because of how it flexes the hip muscles. Because the way I was told, it flexes the hip muscles out, which is putting pressure on the pussy. So it's basically doing Kegels all day long, except you're not even doing Kegels.
You're just wrapping your feet.
But it's because of the pressure and how it... So just imagine how that would feel to walk all day.
But they're so used to it and accustomed to it. And I'm sure it probably hurts and stuff like that. But now, genetically over time, their feet are small. Like, they don't have to really do that anymore, do they? Because most Asian women are, they just naturally have smaller feet. I doubt that they're still wrapping them.
I don't know that. I don't want to like act like I know. I will say this: it's
I
no
got you
coincidence.
twice in one day. I never ask you questions that you don't know the answers to.
Well, I also don't want like I'm trying to stop. Like if I don't know at all, I'm not going to answer them anymore. I'm not going to.
Oh,
I'm not
good.
feeding
so you're
my ego.
admitting to answering questions that you didn't know the answer to feed your ego. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Sure.
Self-incrimination.
What I'm trying to say is, if
You agree?
Yes, I do.
Yo, you ain't shade.
if I'm not 100%
fucked
correct,
That's fucked up.
It really is.
That's fucked up.
He ain't shit.
And we always think he right. I call Francis for everything.
Me too.
I call you for everything. You can't be wrong. Like, I literally, to me,
That nigga is Google.
yeah, you're Google. Literally, like, if I don't know something, I tag him like, Francis, can you find this out? Or Francis, do you know the answer? So to find out that you bamboozled me,
I'm not saying that.
no, we heard it. Didn't we hear it, Monty?
I'm hurt.
Bamboozled.
Okay, you guys are making a show about this, but whatever.
You
ain't
literally
shit.
just said
I said if I'm not 100% correct anymore, I'm not answering.
so that you don't.
Wait, what?
You said something about feeding your ego.
Well, that's what it's unbiasedly speaking. That's what it is.
That's what you do to us.
Boost your ego.
No, all these times this paper, all the times like, yo, I have a topic. Mm-hmm. This is what it's like. Right here.
We're talking about you answering questions you don't know the answers to. You bamboozle us. That's bamboozling. And you do it to feed your ego. That is what you said, and that is the point where it makes Monty, I need you in on this one. Talk now, my nigga.
Everybody does it, though.
Speak now, my nigga.
I don't got nothing else to
But
say.
it's different because it's coming from you. It hurts a little different.
At least
You
I'm
want my
admitting
dictionary,
it.
man.
Yeah, like, I don't even know if I can trust what you say. Because you just be telling me you have your answers, and then you go find out the truth later. And you probably get lucky, because it just, you make a good assumption. But even still.
Really good assumption. Like, he's good at this.
Oh, well. He bamboozled us. The trust is not the same.
Well, before
Rhinos
we...
and aliens. Francis is not to be trusted.
Long story short, before we got into this rant,
I'm just saying.
I was going to say there's a reason why black men get hooked on Japanese pussy when they go overseas.
Any man should get hooked on Japanese pussy if that's the case. But black men especially. Oh, yes, I understand now. I wasn't thinking about that. Yep. I got a couple friends in Japan right now.
I do too.
I think I need to call them and ask them how it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, they both have girlfriends. They're not gonna tell me the truth.
Oh, they're definitely not.
Yeah.
How long have they been over there for?
I think this is Dre's second time.
Oh, for army reasons?
Well, they're in the Marines. They're both in the Marines.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they're definitely
And-
slaying Japanese coochie.
I think Reese goes to the Marine. He goes to Japan.
And when you think about it, it's like that double whammy. They feel all empowered because they're fucking such a smaller creature. But at the same time, this smaller creature has such a tight pussy. You're getting the pleasure of the pussy, but also the satisfaction of the power of dominating this smaller creature.
You can't wait to go to Japan.
That sounds awesome, dude.
That's just how the mind works.
He ain't lying.
Why do you think women are so fascinated with big dick, like a foot long? Because it's so massive.
I wasn't. That didn't attract me. That just it initially scared me. Now it's a little different. But a big penis is scary. Like small penis is scary too. It is. It's weird looking. Penis just looks weird, period.
Thank you. Just imagine if it still had its foreskin and it was like a worm coming out of its cocoon.
Ew. I could just see a dog getting hard. That just made my stomach hurt.
Exactly. That's what I always talk back to. It looks like some raw meat coming out to attack you.
Pussy isn't cute either.
Yo, we're gonna get okay. But this is how I think about penis. I think about alien. You know the grown up alien where the face.
Oh, when the mouth came out the mouth.
That's a raw dick just coming out to squirt its acid on you.
I didn't know dick squirt acid. Monty just sitting over there quiet as fuck.
Throw it up, whatever you want to say. Pump it out. Explode. You know, some people just dribble it out. What are you going to do?
I was gonna see his face.
I don't know what she talking about, man. I don't know what she
Monty
talking about.
just made this. Do you dribble? Because that's how Monty just looked at you. He just looked at you like, this nigga probably dribble. He just looked at you.
After the 4th, 5th time, yeah.
When you said that, he said, he looked at me like,
No faith, man.
my stomach. That's funny. I mean, it doesn't just fly out like.
No, sometimes it does.
Depends on how intense, the situation.
Now, personally, I can't control it. Like, sometimes...
Maybe it's the distance.
Nope. Sometimes when you think it should just dribble out, that motherfucker comes out like a rocket, smacking you straight in the eye.
Wait, the girl or the guy?
Who knows?
That's so bad. So have you ever masturbated and got...
Oh, we could talk about my sex life, but we bring up your shit. Cut it out.
Hey,
A little hypocritical, right, bro?
yeah, so?
Yeah, that's
So?
pretty.
What's wrong with that? Hey.
You ain't shit either.
Nah, that's just me not wanting to talk about something. That's all. That's all that is. Now, have you gotten your own nut in your eye?
No, never my eye or my face.
Have you gotten it on someone else's? In someone else's eye?
I'm not sure. I know it was the face eye area.
So they could see you coming?
That was a good one.
Yo, what? Monty? Conscience, whatever the fuck.
You
You ever got your own nut in your eye?
No.
On your own face?
Yo, you know some motherfuckers don't even
Probably
nut
my
on their
t-shirt.
stomach.
Probably your t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, have you gotten it in someone else's eye?
That's a yes.
I plead the fifth.
I got nut in my eye one time.
Oh, you got nut in your eye?
Yeah, one time. It got on my... I don't know what happened. It got on my lash.
So did
or
it drip
something.
in your eye or
No, it wasn't
straight
like
hit your
that.
eye?
It wasn't like that. It kind of like... I don't know.
No, that could be dangerous though. Like if the sperm is infected, then your eye gets
that's
infected.
so gross. That's so gross. But yeah.
Yeah. But if that sperm is good sperm, it's like protein just
My
splashing
face
your
cleared
eye.
up really good after.
That's some good sperm.
Damn, that was recent. Well, not recent, but I quit. I quit. I'm self-incriminating on camera.
I don't know why. It's something about sperm on the face that could be so violating, yet so beautiful. It's like, depending on the situation or the woman, it's like, I look at this woman with sperm on her face.
With lust or disrespect.
Oh, you said it perfectly. It's like, you're a disgusting whore right now. But then other times it's like, you're my baby.
It just depends on who it does. It doesn't even depend on who it is. It depends on your mood. Because
Exactly.
if y'all just rock, if y'all rock dogging it, y'all just getting into it, and you nut on her face, you looking at her like, you filthy bitch. Come here. I fucking love you. But then the other times,
Deadass.
like, wow, you look so pretty with that.
Yeah, just let it soak in.
Moisturizer.
And then it also depends what she does with it. Like, is she smiling with it on? Is she licking it off as it's coming down?
We've been through this with you.
Oh, yeah, the nose. Licking cum from your nose. Yeah. Okay.
I can't reach my nose. I can't do it.
Well, to put this back into the negative, but educational. First heart attack was not recorded in the medical article until 1916. Heart attacks did not become prevalent until after the 1940s. So why is it that in 2020, roughly every 40 seconds, an American is dying from some type of heart failure?
Because we fat as fucking eat all the wrong shit.
So you don't believe it's a coincidence that once fast food came along, the heart failure in America skyrocketed?
No, I literally think that's exactly it.
Okay.
First of all, I was listening to a McDonald's advertisement today on Pandora. So I was listening to the radio with my client, and they're like, made with 100% fresh ground beef at participating restaurants.
They say ground beef?
Or 100%
Beef.
Made with 100% beef at participating restaurants.
Oh, they actually said participating restaurants now.
Yes. I'm like, so what the fuck you're feeding everybody else? Like, at participating restaurants, you're going to get some real beef, but okay, what part of the beef? Like, but then the restaurants that you don't give beef to, what are you giving them? Like, that shit's sick.
And then you could also go into the case, even if it's 100% beef, is it farm beef or is it beef in the industry beef where
GMO.
Well, it's the cows that aren't grass fed. They're being fed other cows or being fed corn, and it's like they're basically being stocked as product rather than animals.
That's fucking gross.
So we gonna have like some demon cows or some shit like that?
Yo,
Just eat other cows?
I forgot what. It was some animal that's popular in America that they low-key feed. It was like chickens or something, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah. In some cases, it's not often or frequent, but yeah. Like, because for example, if in these situations, if a chicken dies, that's money wasted. So instead of completely throwing it out,
You feed it to...
feed it to the
Oh,
wild.
come on.
They find a new way to save money every fucking time they fuck us over.
Yo, literally, eating anything scares me. Like, watching the videos of the fucking fish that's like rubber, the fucking rice that's like rubber, the people making the cabbage out of nothing or whatever the fuck they... Like, that shit just is like, ugh.
Well, you know all the branded ramen noodles in America, the instant the microwave ramen noodles. Mm-hmm. That's all plastic noodles. Like the moment you have it back-to-back days, or the moment you have it more than 2 times in a week, your stomach begins to break down because you're putting this type of plastic into your body. Because
and then all that sodium you're intaking at the same time just can't be good for you. It's probably eating at your stomach lining, all that shit. Ugh. Oh, that just gave me an ulcer thinking about it.
Yeah, fucked up stomach.
Yep.
Damn, we grew up on noodles.
Fucking, I love ramen noodles.
Monty, we grew up on noodles, bruh.
Tell me about it, dog.
In college, all I ate was noodles.
Yo, but Monty, didn't I tell you that at Home Depot and that shit made you stop?
Hell yeah, I've been stopped. As soon as you told me that shit.
Yeah. Ashley made some noodles the other day. And I took a bite, and I was like, damn, them noodles good as hell. And I don't even like noodles anymore. Like,
Well, there's a reason why they heat up so quickly.
I believe it.
Oh, okay, so we're going to do the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all know because of the climate change, quote unquote, there is actual damage being done to, what is it?
The coral reefs?
Exactly. There has been a new method of cultivating new coral reefs called nurseries, which are replanting I don't fucking know.
Having healthy coral reefs promotes a healthy ocean. Coral reefs are very important to our ocean, and they say a lot about what's going on our planet. That's as good as I could come up with on the spot. You feel me? Because I don't know what the fuck we talking.
I don't even know what the fuck
I
this
don't even
text
know.
is saying. This is not what I remember. What I remember reading, they were basically putting. Okay, so like there's
We
areas
talked about this.
Are you sure?
Didn't we talk about the coral reefs and shit like that in the
No,
in the summer?
No.
No,
I got this like when I was on vacation.
I could have been watching something. Who knows?
It was probably that. Okay, but what I was talking about.
And anemones and shit. And anemones. Anemones.
Let me finish what I'm saying so you can know if.
Whatever. Go ahead. I'm
Fuck
listening.
you too, then.
I'm listening. I just fuck you too, Francis.
Okay, so they're going to areas in the Caribbean with dead coral reefs, and they're basically somehow bringing fish and ocean species back to those areas while simultaneously putting these machines that are water resistant that replicate sound of healthy coral reefs. And supposedly the combination of those two things,
Help the coral reefs grow.
yeah,
And coral reefs are good, like they're
a filter mechanism for the oceans.
and then they're a habitat for a lot of the animals because
Yes.
lots of small fish live in coral reefs.
Yeah,
Like
it's
like Nemo.
yeah, it's a protection. It's a protection. And by the way, they're getting fish to come back by using these sounds. So they're using machines to replicate sounds of healthy coral reefs, which is drawing ocean creatures to the coral reefs again. And somehow this process is slowly but surely bringing the coral reefs back to life.
But wouldn't it make sense if they let the coral reefs grow and start to get healthy before? Well, they can't control the fact that the fish hear the sounds as well, right?
Well, the point is, coral reefs are the way they survive is they feed off of living organisms, and it's not like they literally feed, but when living organisms
Eat
are
them, they
around,
grow back faster. and
well,
shit
that's
like
how
that.
they survive.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
So they can't come back if there's
Unless
no fish.
there's no fish, right?
So that's why these scientists are putting these vocals around these areas.
I wonder what a coral reef sounds like.
I wonder too.
You're gonna play it after this.
No, but it's obviously very majestic. Majestic, yes.
Majestic.
Because think about Finding Nemo, like the scenes where there's no talking, and they're just showing the coral reef areas. For me, that's peaceful, but it's lively.
And then it definitely shows the little movement in the coral and shit like that. Yeah. Too bad Monti didn't talk. Because the episode's over. Do you know about this coronavirus? Because I don't know anything about it.
I'm waiting because
I heard somebody was eating, like the Chinese were eating bats or some shit like that.
I feel like everybody just shares anything and everything on Facebook. And sometimes the links are shitty and sometimes they're legit. But I didn't look into it at all.
if it is actually bats, that'd be so weird because that's exactly like Contagion.
The world is ending.
That's not new, but okay.
I'm just saying, like, bro, we all about to be dead. The Simpsons predicted everything thus far. They started. Never mind. I'm not gonna
They
discard.
seen mad shit.
Yeah. They predicted 9/11 too.
All types of shit.
Yeah.
The Simpsons is still on TV, so it's stressing me out because we're catching up pretty quick.
I don't know, but some of it is it's being smart. It's like if humans exist long enough and certain political environments exist, this is just inevitable.
I guess.
For example, if somebody from the early 1900s when skyscrapers were being built and somebody predicted, two American skyscrapers were going to come crashing down because of whatever reason. Is that really that good of a guess when the wars were coming around and stuff?
Nah, not really.
It's just fucked up to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so one random thing. How do you guys feel about the concept of not having to be yourself for work environments?
I can't do it.
I
So
can't do that shit either.
if I'm not able to be myself in a work environment, then I don't want to do it. And that's probably the reason I'm my own boss. I want to create my own environment. You know what I'm saying? I want to choose how it is for me. I don't want to deal with my coworkers and their bullshit. I don't want to have to change who I am or the tone of my voice or anything like that for anyone, including workplace. Because if that's the case, then I'll find a way to make my own money.
It's like you really do gotta pretend to be somebody else when you at the work, like your workplace. You can't talk about the stuff that you want to talk about, or
Yeah, it's one thing to maintain your professionalism, but to have to change who you are, for me to go in a corporate building and have to put and cover my tattoos and like take out my piercings and shit like that, that shit would.
But I feel like professionalism is just having respect for who you work with.
I mean, that's true too.
or
You're
comes
right,
in.
but even still, like I still wouldn't want to work for anyone.
No, but my point is, I feel like nobody should disrespect you because of tattoos.
Right.
I was just giving an example. But if you want to give a job example to where as though like an example of a job that you were talking about that would fit the scenario, then I could further
I feel
elaborate
like
for you.
basically every job fits the scenario.
I don't know.
Like you can't talk about this or that. One moment they say they want you to be this talkative individual, but the moment you start talking about stuff that they don't approve of is like, okay, you need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't had to deal with that in so long. Like
I know.
I literally have been my own boss for like ever now. I mean, even working at the restaurant was different because it was just some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, stay with your customers long enough to have conversations with them that you're not supposed to have. But I don't know. I can't picture myself doing that because I don't have to. And thankfully, the jobs that I worked that I didn't have to have those problems or have those issues. But eventually, I'm gonna face that again. But shit, that's why if you don't like it, you find a way to make your own money on your own.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody telling me what to do.
Yeah, I don't like being told to do either.
And it's not that I have a problem like taking, or listening to authority or whatever the case may be. But like, shit, especially telling me what to talk about, and I'm so opinionated and vocal about everything. Hell no.
I would also say it's hard when you know you're smarter than your manager or whatever.
Oh yeah, and then you say something and they feel like you shouldn't have said, you don't have the right to have said anything because they have seniority over you or a higher ranking or position or whatever.
Yeah.
When it's like, boy, fuck you, you're stupid as fuck anyway.
That's the blunt way to put it.
That's how you feel? Have you felt that way? I feel like you probably had some stupid ass bosses.
I feel like I've never had one smart manager.
Damn.
In 2019,
Smart or like smart?
I mean, why are you a manager? Because I could have been a better manager with the one management class I took in college.
That's a shame.
Legitimately, I had 5 jobs last year. Not one single one of them did the basic principles of quote-unquote management.
Yeah. People put managerial positions over me without asking me or paying me wages. So.
That's fucked up.
I'm getting to that point of...
So what do you feel like you want to do forever?
That's the $1 million question, right? I don't
like Jeopardy.
know it is.
Like,
And it's like it's at the end of the day, I've come to accept, okay, I'm going to do a mindless job, so leave me the fuck alone. But there's no way in God fucking hell I'm doing a mindless job. You're going to tell me I can't listen to music, and I have to continuously listen to somebody tell me what to do when half the time you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. Like, what are we doing here? Like, isn't your job to recognize realness, to recognize good workers? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just to keep your job safe. I'm slowly keeping notes about a certain situation, and then a future episode when I'm no longer at that job, I'm gonna put out how fucking stupid it is, and everybody thinks they're fucking geniuses.
You calling everybody out on this shit.
No, I have a great quick story, and then we're going to wrap it up. My mom's father worked for the post office for a long time to the point he got a pension, right? This is at the time when they switched from humans doing everything to they brought in technology for sorting the emails and stuff. I mean, sorting the mail. At least when it first came out, he did the math that it would cost the company twice as much money to do the same jobs humans did when you considered how slow the machines were and the amount of time it took to fix them. So then you had to pay mechanics. When everything was said and done over the course of a year, it cost the U.S. government, which means it costs the United States citizen taxpayers twice as much money. And if you hear all these stories about why the United States Postal Service is losing $1 billion+ every year, it goes back to that. Long story short, he was going to bring it up to the local news in Buffalo, and the federal government sent him mail saying, "Do not ever bring this information up," and they ended up paying him more money.
Oh shit.
So when you think some people might have their shit together, or if you wonder why the math isn't adding up, that's a reason. Like, for example, there's a company called Tesla, right? And there's consistently news about how they're so behind in orders, right?
I heard they treat their employees shitty.
I don't know that, right? But there's all this news about how they're so behind in back orders. Well, maybe if you didn't tell your customers to pay you the full price of a car before the car is made, you wouldn't be in a fucked up situation. But then again, like, they run their company like a technology company, even though they manufacture cars. So what do I know?
More. No, you be quiet.
Ain't
More
that
than
right,
fucking-
Monty?
More than
Talk your
fucking
shit,
management.
G. You know what it is.
More than management.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I gotta go back to work. With that being said, we're ending this
81st.
intergalactic episode 81th, as Donnie would say. All right, you want to end it with our 5-finger rhino thrust? Francis, how about you start them?
We're gonna hit that thumbs up button.
Hit it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit it today.
You gonna hit it?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm not in that pounding mood.
damn,
I'm just gonna give it that light tap.
there's a light tap. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm still recovering from illness.
Then you're gonna subscribe,
Thank you.
right? So what you gonna do to the bell? Since you only tapped the like button, what do you plan on doing to the bell?
I'm gonna just ring the bell.
You gonna ring it?
You know, some normal type
Ring
shit.
it, ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
dong.
On some regular.
Just
On some regular.
I just want to say this though, is, you know, like, you have some like nice juicy titties, and you just want more about that shit. Like today, I'm just like, oh, oh.
Next, you want to share it?
Yes, share that shit. As Monty says, share it to your grandparents.
Send it to your
everybody.
grandmama.
All that shit. Uncle. Aunt.
Monty, what you want to do last?
Normally I say what's the name, but I don't even know what the last one is.
It's comment.
Oh yeah, comment on that shit.
That's a damn shame. This is exactly why I be talking this shit I be talking. Because moments like this, it's time to wrap this shit up. Y'all know what's up. LLPH.
Gang shit.
You need your ass whooped.
If you want to subscribe, just
hit this bad boy up here, that big fat rhino. If you want the newest video, to the right. If you want the recommended, to the left. And then, of course, our personal dick pic. Yep, right below. So thank you for joining us once again, and we hope to see you next week. So peace out.
Peace.